Organize Me Radio, episode 15, Black Girls Who Organize. I'm Naeemah Ford Goldson.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Organize Me Radio. I am Naeemah Ford Goldson, and today my guest is Dalys Macon, who is the owner of Divine Order, and she's the creator of Black Girls Who Organize on Instagram. Welcome, Dalys.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
I'm so excited for you to be here too, because when I heard that you started a group called Black Girls Who Organize, and it was similar to me starting NABPO with other women, I just thought you were a woman after my own heart, and I had to have you on here to learn a little bit more about you.
Thank you. And know the feeling is mutual, because I was just as excited to learn of NABPO.
So before we jump into Black Girls Who Organize, I did want to kind of get a backstory. So how did you get into the organizing industry?
So a little backstory. I first took a class with NAPO, the National Association of Professional Organizers, in 2005. But at the time, my sons were 8 and 4. And I also worked full-time as a government contractor in IT. So I just didn't see a way how I could balance doing my full-time job, my family with young boys, and a professional organizing business. So that said, I did continue to organize for family and friends, which is, I know, the story for many. And I've been doing that for over 15 years. So at the ripe old age of 55, I decided, what are some of the things that I haven't accomplished that I still want to do? And professional organizing kept resurfacing at the top of that list. So I just did it. I got up one day and just decided this was something that I was going to do, and it was going to be started in the new year. So I officially received my LLC on December 26th. I call it my Christmas gift. But I really launched the business in January of 2019.
Well, congratulations. So tell us a little bit more about your business.
So Divine Order, I'll tell you, just, it starts with the name, and it's D''Vine and then Order. And the D supports my family first initial. My husband is Derek. I have Dominic and Darius are my sons, and then me, Dalys, of course. And then Vine, as a Christian, I always want to stay plugged into the source. And then Order, which is what we strive to do as organizers, right? And for me, my slogan is Organize, Simplify, and Style. And that's because we are really meant to live a very simplified life. We make things complicated, but that's really the intent for our lives. So I always want to keep that at the forefront and implementing systems that my clients or anyone who I come in contact with will not only receive an organizing tip, but something that they in turn can maintain in the long run. It's beyond me just going in and implementing systems, but it's for it to basically become a lifestyle, a simplified lifestyle. And then the style, because my mom was a seamstress and my dad was an artist, I always had that creative family, and I try to implement that with my clients as well, and giving them new ways to wear old things when they decide the things that they're going to retain. So that's the style portion of it.
I think that's very fun to include, like being a stylist and helping them to show that, you might not have worn this for 10 years, but you can wear it this way now, I think that's a good idea to have attached to your business.
Thank you. Yeah, I found that color came natural to me. I didn't realize that it wasn't very intuitive to most people because it was a natural thing for me. So I would constantly get people to say, I would never think of putting those two colors together, or that's a little risky, or, so I try to get them to think outside the box and push the envelope a little bit and to try new things. I do spend extra time with my clients, especially when I'm doing closets, having them actually try on some of the clothing and showing them on the spot. So the service that I offer called Shop Your Closet, because I want them to be able to find usefulness in the stuff that they retain.
So, Black Girls Who Organize on Instagram. What made you decide to create that group?
So that's my other baby. As I mentioned, I had first taken a professional organizing class in 2005, where at the time I believe I was the only woman of color in that class. And then fast forward here in 2018, 2019, when I resurfaced with professional organizing, I was still looking at magazines and not seeing minorities very prominent in a lot of the issues. I'm not saying that we don't exist or we're not featured, but at the rate of other organizers, we're just not featured a lot. My goal was to try to find a small community. I live outside in the Washington, D.C. area, and I know there would be other Black professional organizers in the area. So my goal really was very small, to set out to find 4 or 5 other organizers and have a resource in exchange. And in so doing, I found that there were more than I expected to meet. So at the time, I had heard an interview with Will Smith when he said, we have to stop waiting for others to validate us. And I thought, wow, not that we're not deserving of it, but it's nothing like having your own. So I started this platform on Instagram really as an opportunity to showcase Blacks who are professional organizers and other businesses that we come in contact and relate to. And it moved from 5 to a dozen. So I thought I will feature one per month. And I just started this year in January 2020, and I have over 70 women waitlisted, waiting to be spotlighted. So I was so elated to learn. At the time, I was not aware that NAPO existed, the National Association of Black Professional Organizers, right? So that has been a delight for me to hear, because Black Girls Who Organize will not take away from NAPO. This is really just an opportunity to give them a quick spotlight. And so we don't have to wait to be featured in a magazine or anywhere else. So the name came about because I was following a young lady who has a very good platform on Instagram, Black Girls Who Blog. And I just took a spin from that and did the Black Girls Who Organize. So
it's so funny how you said how quickly you grew from 12 to 70 something, because it shows that we are out here and we are looking for a place that we can go, that we can have sisterhood, that we can just network with other people, and someone who can understand maybe what you might be going through. What has your experience as a Black professional organizer in this industry, what has it been like?
So for me, I think it has been interesting in a sense that I've seen it for a while, and I've been, in the professional business too. It's been interesting that I've come not to have certain expectations, but I'm also, because I'm more aware, I am ready to do things to enlighten and educate and form those community of people that will realize that we have a share, and our share is important as well. So for me, I have been networking with white organizers as well, and a lot of community of organizers to bring awareness to the Black girls. But specifically, I think for me, because I formed that network and I felt an immediate at home feeling with those Black professional organizers, the experience has been great, because for me, I feel we have a place to go. So if it never changes on the outside, not that I'm not going to fight for that change, and I don't think it should change. We do have a home, and it's important that we uplift and encourage our home. So what I do find is that the resources we have to provide and develop resources when we have it available to us to share with the others. Because I've met quite a few organizers who were interested in joining NAPO, for instance, but they didn't have the resources to be able to afford the fees. That's another thing I love about NAPO, because the fees are so affordable. So my experience actually has been a very good one. It if you're just based on being a Black professional organizer, it hasn't been bad, because I've instantly found a way to network with organizers.
So then what tips or advice would you give other Black women or women of color who are interested in getting into the organizing industry, but maybe they feel like, they might go to a NAPO meeting and feel like they're not represented? What advice would you give for those women or people, men?
Yes, I think first of all, do it scared, but do it. Okay. I delayed doing it for various reasons. And then once I got in it, I realized it's not that difficult at all. It's not that there are not challenges. There's some challenges that you're going to encounter, and that's with anything in life. But you have to be also passionate about what you're doing, because they're going to have those difficult periods, and you want to be able to be in it for the long haul. Many of us started out this year with specific plans of what we were going to be doing, and by March with COVID, everything changed. And we've all had to pivot, and we've all had to figure out what next, how to do something to stay gainfully employed. How do we still offer service without being able to go into a home every day? So don't go in thinking that it's going to just be all smooth sailing, because it's not. But you have to be resilient. You have to be resilient and pivot. Secondly, you have to build a community. You cannot go it alone. For me, my challenge was, even though I'm really good in IT, I was not even on Instagram platform. And there are many platforms. I'm not saying Instagram is the right one for you. I just found it easier once I took the time to learn how it functioned. I found it a little much easier for me to navigate than it was, say, Facebook for me. And I use both, but I tend to always go to Instagram. So form a community, talk to people who have been doing it, whether they've been doing it a year or 5 years. Everyone has been, if you organized for a few months, you would have had some experiences. It didn't take me long. I was 6 months in trying to different areas. And I quickly learned I didn't want to be organizing garages. Mm-hmm. There's nothing against organizing garages, right? Some people enjoy it. Some people say that's their favorite space. But I knew for me, I preferred to go into a closet or go into a pantry. And that's another thing. Don't try to do what everyone else is doing. You're going to try some things, because sometimes that's the only way to figure out what you like and don't like. But in the end, you have to go back to what you're passionate about. And for me, I call it your jam. You have to figure out your jam. My jam was closets and color. So I encourage you to figure out your jam, build a community, and do it afraid.
All right, I got you. My jam is closet design and kids.
Okay, good. Yes, I've seen that wonderful work that you've done.
But I love that. So in addition to being a member of NABPO and Black Girls Who Organize, what are some other groups you're a part of?
So I'm very, I've always been active in my church. I've served in several ministry. I am also bilingual, so I've done the interpreting ministry where I've translated some of the messages to Spanish as well. But currently I'm in the helps ministry, and I like the helps ministry because we service almost any function or any area of the church, and you're able to actively participate with with the whole community as opposed to just being restricted to one area. So that's one. And then I'm a breast cancer survivor. And so,
On that. Oh my God, happy to have you here.
yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm a 7-year cancer survivor. So that's kind of another thing that propelled me to start the business, because it's like, you know, when you see your life flash before you, what are some of the things that I haven't done? So I am so grateful for life. But we do a breast cancer banquet every other year at our church, and I'm on that committee too. So I absolutely love planning that event. It is major. We have hundreds of people in attendance, and it's really good. And this past one was really, really touching for me, because the guest speaker happened to be my surgeon oncologist.
Wow.
So I had the opportunity to introduce her, and she didn't even know that I was going to. So it was really good. But yeah, so aside from that, and I have developed a network. I call them my tribe. I have a group of friends from Panama. I'm originally from Panama. So I have a group of friends from Panama and another group of friends that I've met at my church, and we do girls' night out and all those things. So I call them also my other groups and clubs, because we do a lot of social events and networking together.
You have it going on, let me tell you. I'm learning so much from you. Okay, so what has your greatest achievement been as a professional organizer or personally?
I think as an organizer, again, just jumping in and doing this when I did it, and feeling like I've succeeded at it. I know there's a lot more to learn and a lot more growing to do, but all things considered, as a matter of fact, today I hit 700 followers on Instagram, and I was like, whoa, how cool. And I know that's not a lot for someone who has thousands of followers, right? But for me, it was never just about followers. It's about building relationships. I have been able, I think, to form a very good community with people. I am one that if there's an organizer that I really like what they're doing and I follow them, I make the time to comment. And then if I see me gravitating to their work and stuff over and over again, I pick up the phone and I call them. I call them. I've done it periodically. I try to reach out at least once every few weeks to a professional organizer and say, hey, I like your work, or I like what you were doing, or how did you do that type thing. So I think it's important that we do that. But yes, starting this business and starting with a 0 account on Instagram and doing it, here I am 18 months later. I think that's one of my, and then the Black Girls Who Organize. I think, and I've talked about that, just for it to grow beyond what I could have envisioned has been big for me.
With every person, I love to ask them, what are your favorite organizing products?
So it depends on the area, and I thought about that. Of course, I love doing closets. So I use acrylic bins that you would use in a pantry or refrigerator. I use them all over the closet. I have them. I think it's so important for us to group items and have a place for items, right? So I use bins, decorative bins, cloth bins. Like I just love bins. So I have one for travel. I just think it makes sense to try to group your items together as much as possible. I also am big on labeling. I tell people labeling is elementary, but it's essential. People often say I organize a space, but my family's not following the rules, or they're not putting things back where I place them. And the first question I ask them, did you label it? Well, no. Well, look, you organized it. They didn't. Right. So it's important to label. Whether you want to get fancy and order some labels, or you want to just handwrite it, I love chalk labels. I just love them. And then lastly, I would say products that have dual purpose. I love like a good storage bench. I have one, especially if you have room for one in your closet. That's my little hideaway. I close the door in my closet and I sit on that bench. I can meditate. I can use it to reach items that are high up in the shelf. I can use it to store items that I have. So think about items that you can use, multi-purpose items. And as speaking of multi-purpose, I do love the multi-purpose bins at the Container Store. I think those little plastic bins, they're just great for so many areas.
So if there's a woman who's interested in joining Black Girls Who Organize, is there some kind of process, or do they just reach out to you and let you know they want to be featured? How does that work?
Yeah, so there's no lengthy process. If you're an organizer, and I can validate that you're doing professional organize, and the main thing is to have a platform on Instagram, because it's solely on Instagram right now. I have considered adding it to Facebook or somewhere else, but I'm not certain yet, because it was meant to be just a quick blog. So right now, if you just go to Black Girls Who Organize, it's on Instagram, and then you can also email at blackgirlswhoorganize@gmail, and just express interest. You will be featured, and then I have a schedule. The schedule is going to be revamped, because right now, as I told you, with the overwhelming amount of people that I receive, I have ladies lined up through May 2021. That doesn't make sense for them to wait that long. So I'm getting ready to move to a twice a weekly. Starting in October, I will be featuring 2 ladies per week, as opposed to just on Mondays. And that will speed up the process and move it. But once they write me, or if somebody starts following me and I see that they're organizer, I reach out to them and let them know. I ask, are you interested in being featured? There is no cost. I also do a monthly meeting on the last Monday of every month. And again, we started doing that in person because it was meant to be just a DC area thing. COVID happened, and we said, okay, let's keep it going. Let's do virtual. And the Zoom meeting allowed everyone to chime in. I've had ladies to chime in from Nigeria and Ghana as well.
Wow.
I just think it's just amazing that this little seed I planted has become that. So yeah, just reach out at Black Girls Who Organize.
Well, I am so glad that I had you on, because I've learned so much from you. Can you tell everyone how they can find out more information about you?
Sure. So Divine Order for You, DIVINE order, and number 4 and you. That is my website, and a lot of that information is there. I'm also, again, on Instagram and on Facebook, all under the same name. And if you go on my website, you can also sign up for a newsletter. I do a monthly newsletter. I like to write. So I try to do I am doing a monthly newsletter on the first of every month, Divinely Ordered. And it talks about some of the things that I may post on Instagram, but it also gives a kind of a schedule of events and other things that I do. I just finished a summer series where I did As the Organizer. I did it free on Zoom for the last 3 or 4 months. So just to learn and hear of things that's happening. And then, of course, if you go on Instagram and Black Girls Who Organize and Divine Order for You, you'll be able to see week-to-week activities and posts.
All right. Well, Dalys, thank you so much for joining me. And I hope I get to have a conversation with you again, because I love this. Maybe next time we can talk about styling.
Yes. I love it though, but thank you so much for the consideration. I don't take it lightly. And anyone listening to this, if you're a Black professional organizer, please join NAPO. We need to have the support of all the ladies. It's wonderful. I attended my first meeting last, and I'm going to see how I can get involved there as well. So
Yes.
thank you for having me.
Yes, we definitely want you to get involved. Thank you so much again.
Okay. Thanks. Have a great one.
Join us next time for an all-new episode.
Thank you so much for joining me today, and make sure you follow me on all social media platforms. And remember, get organized, go further. You're listening to Organize Me Radio. I am Naeemah Ford Goldson.